What's up, everybody, and welcome to All for Footy, the AFL podcast where good friends gather and gab about last week's games, this week's games, and everything in between. I'm your host, Nathan Norman, joined by the co-host with the co-most, the Daniel Big Daddy Reeby.
The number one podcaster in history, isn't it?
No, you're the second.
You forgot my little bit.
No, you get one line. You get one line. You get one line now. No, I'm not doing this 3 lines every week.
Brah. How is it down in cold old Melbourne, mate? Is it nice down there?
It's actually very hot today.
Oh, maybe it's hotter in Melbourne than it is in Queensland today. Because I heard it was 30 in Melbourne and it's only 27 here today.
Oh, well, there you go. Queensland ain't shit. All right, well, with that, we'll move on to our guest host of the week, Ryan Wheels Fenton.
G'day, guys. How are we?
Hey, mate. Not too bad. Welcome to the show. Finally.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure to have Ramping Reeby here too, mate. It's very good.
Ramping Reeby.
I was going to say Rumbling Reeby, but changed it up.
What about Parachute Pants Reeby?
I've never seen him ramp anything.
Mate, I attempted to play a ramp shot once, but it hit me in the head and then I fell over and landed on stumps.
Fair enough. Well, thank you for joining us, Wheels.
That's all right, mate. It's good to have the second best podcaster on in the studio, mate, to be honest.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good. It's great for you. Great. I'm sure you'll lose your mind. One of our number one fans of the pod. So this is your honor.
Dream. This is his dream come true.
Back from the dead.
Dream. Jeez.
Won a competition.
Anyway, let's not ramble too long. So we'll introduce the fourth member. He is, if God was shooting from half court when he made this man, it's Rick Trip P. Parker. How you going, Rick?
Yep. How you going, boys? Pleasure to be
Hey,
here.
mate.
As
Good,
always.
mate. How you going, Rick?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. Good to see Reeby actually made it up there without getting kicked off the plane.
I had a multi with it on. It's done. It's done now.
He's still got to get back, though, I hope.
Yeah, but the multi was for the trip there, not the trip back. So unfortunately,
I've still never been kicked off a plane. I've been on a plane while my mother has been removed from a plane.
Oh no!
I've never been on a plane that I've been kicked off. So yes, I made it here in one piece, and that world record still hasn't been beaten, Rick.
No, it hasn't.
No, good work. Good
right.
to see that Footy was back in action on the weekend. I was happy about that.
That's it.
Yeah, every team
Round
had
one.
a chance to play.
Round one, the first round.
Finally, 9 games to watch.
Yeah, that was good. It was great times. But before we get into last week's games, we just want to touch on a few topics going this week. I just want to introduce Ryan. Brian, all three of us have announced our bias on this podcast. I'm Melbourne, Reeby St Kilda, Rick's Doggies, your Cats. Fucking tell us about your love of the Cats.
Oh, mate, where do I start? It started in the horrible 90s where we lost 5 grand finals, and then it's just improved from there. So, and now we've got 4 in the cabinet, and it's good times, but it might be a bit of a slope for the next couple of years, I reckon, for the boys. But the whole family goes for the Cats, and we're just the whole Fenton family, if I'm allowed to say that. But
no,
yeah, that's all right. So just mute that, and it's just the whole family, mate. We're all Cats, so that's where it comes from too. The love of it.
Good to hear. Because we like to announce our bias on this show. Because of course,
good family
club.
Why wouldn't we? The Cats.
But yeah, no. And with that, I just want to move into just briefly touch on another topic: Tassie Devils. All the talk of the town today. Now,
get on them.
How many people here have gotten a membership today?
Not me. I go for St Kilda. I don't know why everyone's buying memberships for another club. I don't get it. I'm a bit confused.
Yeah, I'm a little miffed myself as well. But yeah, Brandon, you're on day one.
Yeah, mate, I'm on day one, but I just paid the $10 just to hope it happens. That's basically it at the moment.
So really, you're a tight ass. Is that more the?
Actually, I paid 15.
Because can I just go around the room quickly?
Sure.
Rick, did you get one?
Nah, mate.
Nah. Nathan, did you get one?
My heartbeat's true.
I think most of the listeners might have got one that have been on the pod, though.
Look, I mean, us real supporters, we only go for one team. We don't go for handfuls of teams.
I already go for 2.
Oh, so you're a flip-flop.
Well, yeah.
Now he is. We've
Now he's got 3.
We've got a flip
This is how
flop.
it starts. This is what happened to
The
Alan.
2 teams above me are the 2 teams I support.
Look, good luck to the Tassie mob. I hope when they come in, they play St Kilda in round 1 and we beat them. But apart from that,
I get it.
I mean, what are you giving an AFL mob who are being given
Mate,
over $200 million
give 'em a
of
chance,
assistance
mate.
along the
Give them
way?
a chance.
What is $10 from a handful of people going to do to this new organisation? In all seriousness, to me, it is the biggest gimmick thing I've ever freaking
Bring it to
seen.
the top. I just don't like the name. Devils? We've got demons already. Like, just,
I mean,
come on, what are you doing?
St Kilda's won 1 premiership in 140
So you want
years.
less teams.
I just want us to beat him. I don't like him. I'm not signing up to be a member.
I just want them to become a team, be terrible, and just be another team for my team to kick around.
Yeah, I mean,
they could be a team to get 2 extra wins, like
last-
everyone else will.
last thing I need is them coming
First
in
few
and winning
years
a
you will.
couple of flags. So,
Yeah, interesting one to watch, mate.
my
Yeah,
allegiance is set. I've got my 5 teams, and I can't cover any more.
The backdrop couldn't cover them all.
Well, look, I've got my one team. My heartbeat's true. My heartbeat's true.
They got a strong footy heritage down there in Tassie, so
They do.
Yeah,
Hawthorn
they-
might lose
they-
a few members.
Well,
No, look,
they'll
I'm really
lose
looking
They'll lose
Yeah,
a lot of
Hawks and
members,
North.
and North
And
as
North,
well.
yeah. Yeah, no, it's
And
it's
then
what's
they'd
gonna
be
happen.
kicking themselves that they didn't move down there.
Is North playing there this week? I haven't checked the actual fixture, but I see they're home against Port, is it?
They're at Marvel Stadium against
No,
Oh,
Freo.
it is in Melbourne, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, look, I love a good game in Tassie. I think it's great for footy. And
You do agree this could have happened 30 years ago, though. Like, it's
Yeah, it
strong
should have
of a
happened.
state.
yeah,
It should have. It's
So
weird
strong
that
that state.
yeah.
I mean.
Every state
It's
should
the
have a team at
infrastructure.
least.
It
They should have had one before
Tassie
Gold
like
Yeah.
to not
Yeah.
build up infrastructure. They try and reserve. They're quite a low key state.
Yeah, a bit like, yeah.
So I think this has been a forever battle, but they're finally getting somewhere as a main, an island. And
What about the Northern Territory? They goddamn need a team. Jesus Christ. But, yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, it could be next, mate. Watch it.
I reckon
One
it
in
should
maybe
be.
Adelaide. Another one in Adelaide, probably.
Yeah, well, Adelaide, yeah. Adelaide, they love their footy over there.
The AFL will seek to get another team in because they won't want to buy.
Uneven.
Yeah,
true.
that's fair, that's fair.
and unevenness.
And then they
So
can start to
they
push
branded out
towards
as-
23, 22 teams over 24 weeks. Yeah.
Oh, well, good on them, I reckon.
All right. Well, I guess with that, we should, we're just going to move into last week's games. We're not going to have too much of a topic today because there's a lot to talk about with these games. Lots been happening. Round 1, and it's exciting. So, yeah, we'll first start off. Thursday night football at the G. It was Carlton versus Richmond. It was Carlton 12-14, 86. Richmond 12-9, 81. It was Carlton by 5 points. Who'd have seen it coming? Raby, did you see it coming?
Saw it coming. I tipped Carlton.
There we go.
Yes, I actually saw that one coming, Nathan.
Good for you.
Richmond bloody did well though, just to hang in that game. Like Carlton probably should have put forward a bit. Carlton played really well. So Richmond, they did well, but I think through a defensive mindset, and they're probably not going to push the 8 this year, not looking to score heavily, I don't think, really, when you're slowing teams down instead of trying to kick ass. But it's where they're at, and they did not a bad job of it. So it was a good game of footy, but
I tipped Carlton as well.
and they're not even playing their best, and now they're getting the wins. And
Yeah,
I think they're-
absolutely. I tipped Carlton too, but I thought the inclusions of the Tank, Lynchy, and Dusty might have made it a bit. Well, it was pretty close, but a bit closer, and it was
5 points in
kind
it.
of big.
Who's the tank?
Yeah, Nankervis.
Oh, the
Yeah.
tank. What a
So
guy.
yeah, with those 3 inclusions, like Lynch looked on early,
He's a good player.
so it looked dangerous.
He got a
and,
couple of cheap free kicks early.
Yeah.
Very cheap, very cheap.
and then you
That's
had
all right, mate. That's all right. Free kick's a free kick, mate. Goal's a goal.
you had Prestia go down with another injury, soft tissue. Like how many's that one guy going to have? Like,
Oh,
Yeah, they had a few.
Yeah.
Few got get off the ground for injuries on that surface. Was it ready?
who knows?
of course it
Maybe
was
a week
ready. What are
more.
you talking about? They had that thing climbing.
Why wouldn't it be ready?
And
There was quite a few slippery moments on that G.
Yeah,
It
was
just
that
proves-
around the-
You gotta remember to
just that they came throughout the weekend as well.
You got to remember to
Even
clean your
the,
footy boots so
the
your
Essendon-
studs won't dig into the ground and you'll slip sliding everywhere.
Even in the Essendon Hawthorn match, it was quite slippery as well. So
I feel like that's why Melbourne got their hands on the doggies, because the doggies just couldn't keep their traction.
No.
Oh, well, we're not there. We're still at Richmond Carlton, so let's
No, but
stick
I
on
know.
top
I'm just
topic.
saying, if you're going into the surface 4 days later, I mean, Melbourne ski for fun, and the dogs don't. You know, they can't afford to go up to the snow mountains. So really, that's what Rick's alluding to here, is that by the Sunday, that ground was like a ski track, and yeah, the big barrel of a lot of excuses down the line there.
What about the
Certainly
arc,
barrels.
Bruce?
I wasn't alluding to that at all, but
What about the arc, Bruce? Did that touch the boot, mate? You were there?
I don't know. Did it?
Was there an incident where, you know, could have hit someone's foot and it didn't? Do you remember or not?
I'm actually not remembering now that I think about it. I did watch it.
no.
I did watch it on mute.
Yeah, you did. You were commenting on the group chat, so I thought you might have hadn't remembered it. That's all right.
Hey,
So I've
look,
got a notepad. I've got a notepad here for each game, mate. I watched each game live and or tried to.
yeah,
I've
well,
got a note.
I had the double screen going, but no, Friday night
Yeah.
and Thursday night. Yeah, Thursday night was a good game. It kept me up. It was like this should have been the game of the start of the round, start of the year. I feel like it was super close, super exciting, tense. But
Yeah.
it is two not so good teams. But there was some good football, but it wasn't. They're not there.
I think we'll find, Fenno, that the people on All for Footy don't miss a game live.
Mate, it was tough.
So
It
you're
was actually a
saying,
tough job?
are you saying you almost missed one?
No, I had the laptop
Yeah.
and the.
You got to. I mean-
and the phone.
Yeah.
Sometimes I almost got to get that third screen in.
Because occasionally I've been known to be going away or something, but I'll
Yeah.
listen on the radio.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean? You don't miss a live game.
Okay, all right. Well, that's. I'm glad you don't. Well, I've got a computer. I can bust up many screens on the computer, so that's pretty good. All right.
And the 5-day break too for the Tigers probably didn't help as well.
help.
Having a 5-day off.
Now, it could be a long year down at Tigerland.
And the young Josh Gipsus did his knee, the defender there. That was a bit sad news for him, ACL.
Yeah.
Not very good. So it's
Yeah,
going to be a long recovery for that young guy, and apparently there's high hopes for him. So
It was. He's a good talent, Gipkus.
yeah. Oh well.
How
Mighty
long-
Blues, hey, the Mighty Blues.
It's two tails, isn't it? Carlton are just advancing up the ladder, and Richmond, geez,
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was like they just came away with it. Like they did come back.
Yeah.
And it's like it could have gone either way. And at the end of the day, we've all rated Richmond very low in
Yeah,
our ladder
right.
predictions. So
we might have to
Yeah.
get Wheel to put in his ladder prediction.
Oh, I did it on the
You did?
chat. I don't know if it's going to go on the stream though, but yeah, I did.
No,
do it.
well, as long as it's in the chat, so we all know later in the year when we pull them up. That's the.
we'd have to go back like so much through chat to get those ladder predictions.
Oh, Nathan, by the way, I wrote
Yes,
ours
sir.
down.
Oh, good.
Yes, I forgot to take the photo and send it to the page.
Probably,
That's all right.
probably one of the last things of that game was. Did you guys notice that Kerno went down back when he had, like for the crucial moments there?
Did he? To get a fist or a mark
Just
in?
the marks, the fists, the kicks.
Yeah,
So
right.
they brought the
Yeah.
tool down just to really, zone them off. And
Would
He
they?
has a
have
presence, that guy. So yeah.
he did. So the good last couple of minutes of the game, they had him down back just to, steady the ship. Obviously, the doctor wasn't there. And I reckon, from memory, they might have did that in one of the finals. Tried to do it in the final back there, or late in the season, didn't they? Yeah. So it's interesting they're putting their key forward down back
And
when it's coming to the crucial moments.
and he got that mark. Remember
Yeah.
in the final?
Yeah,
took that.
and that was huge. So
did
they've done the
too.
same thing
Was
that game
huge.
too.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Look, it was a great game. It was a great game.
Who's your favourite Carlton forward out of Mackay or Kerno?
Kerno.
Kerno.
Yeah.
Stas.
you say-
What do you reckon,
Jeez.
Greg?
Fev.
Oh, fair.
We give you
Eddie,
two options.
Eddie.
We gave you two options.
Congratulations to Fev as well. He got inducted to Carlton's Hall of Fame as well through the
Oh.
week. Which
Oh,
is,
did he? What?
Oh, congratulations.
yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah, good old Fev. Great mate of the pod.
All right.
He is.
Well,
Um,
I think with that, we'll move on to the next game, Friday Night Football at the G. It was Collingwood 10-9-69 versus Sydney 15-12 102. It was the Swans by 33 points in almost a smacking, but I'd say a comfortable lead. How comfortable do you think it was, Parker?
Mate, they controlled the game from go to woe.
Had we?
Like,
Were we frozen? Oh,
I actually not seen Collingwood
yeah.
play like that for quite a few
Not for them.
years. Actually, you know, what they wooden spooners only a few years ago. So, but geez, they've started real slow this season. It's going to make
Yeah.
it tough for them. But surely nothing can be taken away from how good Sydney actually played. You know, like
They're a good team.
like Haney, Warner, Goulden, like they were just all on fire, weren't they? Like,
Yeah.
what can you say? Sydney, the horses got them going really well at the moment, and you know,
Yeah.
if they keep this up for the next few weeks, they'll set themselves up for a really good year, I reckon.
Yeah. And Collingwood, 0 from 2. Fano, what do you reckon?
Yeah, it's not often you say that about both grand finalists, is it?
It's
No.
not at all.
And Brizzy have the
very
bye
funny.
this week. They're going into round 3 with no wins.
Wait, did they play round 1?
Yeah.
They lost.
Opening round, yeah.
And they've lost.
So they're going to go into round 4 or 3 with no wins.
But the bye, and then they play each other the following week.
And then it's Pies Saints, could be the same story.
Well,
So
and then Collingwood play Brisbane. So that's a good match.
I'll just say to the Collingwood supporters, it was good to see you could reveal your premiership flag on the night.
Wait, they did or they didn't?
They did.
Oh, they did.
They normally do it hour and a half before the game, which is they should do it when
did it
the
early.
team's running out. Like, come on. Yeah, it's not that great. You got to get to the game real early. When you experience it, it's like, oh yeah.
Did you
But-
notice Collingwood played Eminem when they run out in the ground?
No.
I
No,
was like,
yeah.
they did. They dead set played Eminem when they ran out in the ground.
Unfortunately, I followed this game by just checking my phone every now and then.
Oh yeah, I had it on while I was doing dinner and everything. But
Oh.
yeah, that's all they really celebrated with the night was the flag revealing. So from there on, they didn't do too much.
It was actually
good to see
quite an
Grunt-
interesting game to watch. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
good old
Like,
Grundy against another side.
Yeah, not doing too well from what I could tell.
They every
It wasn't as good as
tactical battle
opening round.
Sydney won.
Oh, contested. Man.
Yeah, no, they were pretty good, Sydney. Like,
They were very
the whole
good.
night. They were actually really good and deserved the win as well. Like, they probably could have won a little bit more comfortably, but a little bit of woeful kicking throughout the game, you know,
Yeah.
sort of ballooned the points out. So, no, good for them.
Yeah, and Heaney, who can stop him?
On fire, mate. On
He's
fire.
a gun. He's a gun. Club legend. Calling it.
Yep.
I think he's
Kicked
stepped
a couple
up.
of goals. Couple
He's-
of goals, 29 touches. Awesome night out.
Fucking hell. Yeah, he's really good. Yeah, I noticed it last week as well against Melbourne when it was just like, yeah, he's just really good.
He sort of reminds me of a better version of Toby Green. Like, Toby Green's a bloody good player, but Heaney, like, does the same stuff, but he does it all night,
Yeah, he's
all
tough.
over the ground. He's just insane.
He's
but
tough. He's tough.
At the moment, he's just right on top of his game, isn't he?
Smokey for the Brownlow.
Oh, I don't think he's a smoky. I think that's more of like he's a good chance.
Yeah.
Because last year, Clary Oliver, that was a smoky because in the end of the year,
Yeah.
you know,
Imagine what he was paying at the start. Imagine what he was paying 2 weeks ago.
Well,
He-
yeah, I know. Well, he was paying 15.
oh, you saw it.
Yeah, and I reckon now
So someone knew something.
he must be
Yeah, it's
paying
probably
10 or
much.
8 now.
yeah.
No, because at the start of the year, everyone's 15. No
Oh.
one's really.
Shout out to Logan McDonald though, kicking 4 goals against the Premiers. And
Yeah, I was about
the
to
goals
say
he
the
kicked
exact
were
same thing.
quite instrumental, weren't they? Like, he just absolutely showed up, you know, at the times that, you know, you wouldn't really thought he would do much, you know. So no, good for him. 2 goals in the third quarter really set them up for the last as well.
Definitely.
Life's looking pretty alright without Buddy, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. Really is. I reckon,
And
yeah.
they've got a real
They're up
bright
there.
future, don't they?
We do well. We all put them up high as well. We all had GWS and Sydney in the top 2 in our ladder predictions, which was pretty weird. Pretty weird. But
Yeah, Chad Warner
they're
did
starting to
well.
prove why it's not that
G.
weird.
Me good.
Chad Warner at the G again. Awesome. Warner.
Yeah.
That's it.
All right. Well, with that, we'll move on to the next game. It was Eston versus Hawthorn at the G. Every game at the G. It was Eston 17-5, 107 versus Hawthorn 11-17, 83. It was Eston by 4 goals, 24 points. Raby,
No,
what did you think of this one?
Tough watching this
line in the
game
sand
because
game, isn't
I was gonna change my tip pre-game to Essendon and then just totally forgot.
Shocker.
I was down at mum and dad's with mum and doing a bit of gardening in the morning. We were down at the Bonio market actually, going into a petting zoo when the game started, and I went, "Oh no, I was meant to change my tip. Oh well, hopefully Hawks win." Oh,
Hopefully. But yeah,
yeah.
Wheels.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. You've sort of got the Bombers, a couple of years back, the big hype to make the 8 and la, and it's safe to say the Hawks are rebuilding. So, yeah.
They're quite evenly matched throughout the whole
Yeah,
game.
they
They were
were.
quite
Yeah.
evenly matched. You know,
was
if
a
it
good
wasn't
game.
for the heat and the tired bodies, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
Essendon probably wouldn't have pulled away so much in that last quarter. You know what I mean? So
Essendon had the experience a bit. I mean, they probably should have won that game by the margin they did.
Yeah.
But play Hawks in the third quarter.
the score,
Hawks
it's one of those
playing-
games where the score doesn't represent actually how the game was played.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, they did.
It was only 24, 26 points or something like that.
It was
Yeah,
close
only-
all the way through, and then that last
only
quarter
4
was
points
blown
to
open.
half time.
Oh, who's here?
Hey,
But it was a
Saints supporter.
It was a great game, though. I really did like it. As from like a being biased towards Essendon a bit, I really did love it. It was a great game to watch, and I was very happy because I knew Julian was down there, just cheering on his team.
We were watching it in
Stringer
in
kicking
Dave-
4. Langford
Oh.
standing up in that last quarter and just going boom boom.
Yeah, but mate, like I said last week, I could kick 4 in this day's modern age of fucking shit footy. And Stringer, they've wheeled him out of his bloody casket again just to have another game.
you've got to get off the bench first.
You know, when he
Yeah,
kicks
mate.
4, I mean, like, no, I mean, it's not like you don't read into someone kicking 4 these days as if it was like,
A bag.
yeah, and when it's Stringer and he, because they do give it to him a lot because it's Stringer. And I just,
Yeah,
as a
but this
club-
was a good game for Stringer. Jesus Christ.
No, yeah, I mean, as a footy club, though, I still feel like they're going nowhere until they can kind of move forward.
Yeah, like he's an experienced player. You sort
Yeah.
of expect a few goals, but a young forward, you wake up and go, oh, he's kicked 4. But
Yeah, and it's
someone's-
Stringer. I mean, even
Yeah.
getting through to finals, like, can you imagine him doing a lot in the final? Like, he'd just get tagged out of the game that easy, but...
Did you see it the first couple of minutes? Old Sisley trying to fire up the game, trying to get the old.
Yeah, they were getting pretty dirty. That was
Yeah,
pretty
mate,
surprising.
Wasn't a fan of that either. In this modern
was good
age,
to
the way the
see.
game's
I love
going...
that. I love that.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
But we all love it, but it's not
Argy-bargy.
the game anymore. You're meant to just win the ball. Like, don't... As soon as you go do that shit... And notice how Hawks lost.
No.
McGrath went flying after that bump.
Yeah, but it's just weak as piss in this day and age of footy. Like,
Sicily.
you're not allowed to
Yeah,
do
he
anything.
smashed.
So as soon as you
He
stand
got
there...
off he got off that as well.
so he
he got
should.
charged for kicking, but he got off. He got off. I think
Oh,
with a
the rules
fine
in
or something
footy-
like that.
are as flip-flopped as Allen at the moment.
And it's good to see Chol
Oh, absolutely.
kick 3 goals, third club. Him and,
Yeah.
He kicked 2. He kicked 2.
Yeah,
and
he
he got
kicked 2.
tactical sub. Why did he get subbed out? Like
Because he was miss. He did miss a few, like all together.
He kicked 2 too.
Yeah, and he had some absolute misses that didn't even go on the scoreboard.
Yeah, they'll be interesting to watch him and
Yeah.
Lewis, though, if they get
Yeah.
to play around with each other for the next couple of years.
Listen, talk about the footy.
Some two, they'll be all right when they get to learn their patterns and whatnot. So, yeah, it'd be interesting to watch.
Yeah. No, it'll be interesting. Hopefully, Essendon can string together a few, but we'll see. It's a fierce competition.
Oh, yeah.
They did what they had to do, though, the Bombers.
That's it. All right, moving on to Saturday afternoon football at GWS Stadium, which is the NG Stadium now. Apparently, is that how it's pronounced?
Yeah.
NG?
Yeah.
I actually
NG.
don't know.
NG.
NG. And Giants kicked 17-19, 121 against North Melbourne, 13-4, 82. It was Giants by 39 points. Constitutes as a smashing to me. Rick, do you have much to say about this?
No, it doesn't really constitute a smashing. Really,
I think over 6 goals. That's the line. I don't know where you draw your line. That's my line.
Against North.
They played well early, North. They kicked 8 straight, didn't they?
If they had a kick
One
straight,
One behind.
GWS,
Yeah.
that would have been a smashing.
Yeah, they had heaps of behinds, too.
Yeah. That's 17-19. Like, wow.
That's insane.
But yeah, North. What do you say about them? Like they're just up and coming. They're building. They're the second year into a massive rebuild that Clarko's going to bestow on that club. So
yeah, look, they've
you've
still got
have a bit
Larky.
of patience with them. Yeah, they've still got
Larky and
Larky,
Zerha, and they've still got good young
Just-
up and
yeah.
coming talent. That's for sure.
They do. Like, don't get me wrong.
They
Like,
need a veteran though.
But- but yeah, they need someone that's going to come in and go, all right, like say what Paddy Dangerfield did for Geelong. You know, when he came from Adelaide, you know, a big name, a big player.
Marquee player,
come
yeah.
in, yeah, and you know, absolutely, you know, build that team around him
Yeah.
or them.
Or yeah,
Actually,
the
because
group.
you probably need 2 or 3 there. You know, like you need at least 2 in the mid, and
Yeah, you need a few big names. That's it. Yeah,
say
absolutely.
another big defensive mid as well.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
good.
But hey, GWS, they're just on the march. A win's a win. Doesn't
Yep.
count if you win ugly. It's still a win. So
Yeah, and it was a bit of a walk anyway. As I said, a smashing in my book, 39 points. So
She got Louis going down. She got Louis going down.
yeah. No, it was actually good. It was a good game to watch.
Mr. O'Gowan.
Like Hogan, Jesse Hogan, he just put on a clinic and kicked.
Oh, mate, 6 goals.
Riccardi kicked 3. You know what I mean? Like it was pretty good. Yeah, like he even kicked 3 himself. So no, it was a good game to watch. Lots of goals were kicked.
yeah, well,
And
17.
North were actually pretty straight. Kicked pretty straight. They kicked like 4 behind.
Yeah, 9-4. No, they did well. That's for where they're at, I guess, which is at the bottom, unfortunately.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's move on to the next game. It was at GMHBA Stadium. It was Geelong versus St Kilda. Geelong 10-16, 76. St Kilda 9-14, 68. It was Geelong by 8 points.
Yeah, someone's
Wheels.
just heard the game and they've got to go apparently put their kid to bed.
He's just going to go. Yeah, of course. And do you know what? It's probably a good idea because, yeah,
Hey, mate,
he's having a conversation during the pod. So, yeah.
I'll see you next time.
Anyway, Wheels.
Rip the game though.
Mate,
This
unbelievable.
is to you. This is Geelong. Geelong won. You're on the show. Talk about Geelong's victory.
Oh, mate, I actually went into this a bit of 50-50, right?
Oh, really?
I knew, yeah, just the hype of the Saints. You know, and, you know, I've got close mates that go for the Saints, so I think they were sort of in my ear, but that's all right. But when I looked at the stats, and they haven't won down there since 1999, round 10, I'm like, well, history doesn't lie, does it? So-
Look, there's a pattern to it. But, hey, history does... everything happens, There's a
Yeah,
first time for everything.
That's the part I was worried about. And yeah, no, in front of the new 40k stadium, it was the night for the Cats, wasn't it? Really, round 1, opening night.
Good
you
stuff.
know, just really good to watch. Good to see the footies back down in the old region. And yeah, and I was actually surprised Daniel wouldn't message me after the game and say flights are cancelled. So
How good's that new stadium look down there, mate?
mate, the Joel Selwood stand looks amazing. I might have had a bit of a thing going on the group to say I was down there, but you all know the truth. And yeah, how good would it be if all clubs had something like that, mate? Honestly, just their own stadium, their own spot. So
Yeah, that's what it used to be.
I've been arguing that point for quite some years now.
Oh, well.
Yep.
People tell me I'm crazy.
Well, it's not feasible nowadays. Some teams just don't have the support.
Mate,
Yeah.
if you look at all the big leagues around the world, they have their own stadiums.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
And some are very
You know
small.
what I mean?
it might happen. It could slowly happen if they keep introducing new clubs too, because you know. more
I
clubs
feel like you'd have to take some away, if anything.
Oh, maybe.
There's only
but-
so many stadiums.
Yeah, I know, but there's, you know, the Whitton Oval, you got Moorabbin, like, just build them up. You got Arden Street, you know, just Blues, you know, they don't have to be all the marquee games, but just, you know, the games maybe like the Cats do, you play interstate, you just get your 30,000 in, you know? Like,
Yeah,
Imagine going and watching Collingwood Geelong down at bloody Victoria Park.
Yeah.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
I think it's just, the MCG and and Marvel Stadium, they need the money. So,
Yeah.
to justify their
Yeah,
size.
it's very. Yeah,
So,
it's all in the loop.
They need it, I guess.
Yeah,
Well, the AFL
Interesting
owns
game.
Marvel now, so
Yeah,
that's
but they
right.
still have to pay the
They own it
maintenance and
now.
whatnot, and there's
yeah,
all
they own
upkeep.
it now.
There's still a lot of cost in just owning it and running it.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, and
that's why you rent it out.
It's an interesting game going in with the injuries. You had like Sinclair out for the Saints. You had Cam Guthrie, Rowan. Saints had a fair few injuries, but pre-season. But yeah, it's good to see a couple of new faces as well. Like young Wilson kicked a couple of goals for the Saints, looked promising. Liam Henry from the Dockers. You can see what he wants to do, get the run going, but that's not going to happen on that tight ground.
Ollie Dempsey.
Do you mean Owen Henry? Liam
And
Henry. There's two Henrys.
Ollie Dempsey's played one game last year, but he's pretty much new.
Yeah.
Leo got nominated for Rising Star today as well.
Yeah, and you don't normally see
Yeah,
that
he
often
did.
with Cats players. Yeah, that's pretty rare for Cats players because we're all old and slow. So
Well, mate, he kicked 3 goals, all right? So
yeah, I know that's what I mean. We just don't normally blood the youngies, and they don't normally just pop like that. But
I was popping.
yeah, it's all good. And
If they're good enough, they do.
Yeah, they pop.
they pop all right. But now I think we can't forget to mention the danger, mate. The danger.
He's back!
Yeah.
We are the danger. Is this what Chris Scott was saying?
His last name's actually Field, isn't it? Because Danger's his middle name.
He had
That's
he
what
had
I hear.
25 disposals, 12 of them contested, and at a 72% rate efficiency. Like one of the better games that I've seen Paddy just take control. And most of his ball winning was up along the wing and in the middle.
Yeah.
Like, that's what you want from your premium midfielder. Like just like I was saying before about whatever North Melbourne I was talking about before. You need to bring in someone like that marquee player, and Geelong did that. They risked that and went and got Paddy from Adelaide, and mate, look, it's just paid dividends, hasn't it? They got a flag 2 years ago. He got to play with Joel Selwood and Gary Ablett, Junior, who's probably one of the best, and learn from him as well. Right through his when he was towards the end of his career, so he was imparting all his knowledge, which was really good for Paddy. So and it shows in his games when he plays. He just absolutely tears it up.
Yeah, this is coming from a guy that came second in the Norm Smith only a couple of grand finals ago. So he's showing he's still got it. It's just timing and
we were saying just before about having a strong player come in and build a club around, and that was Dangerfield.
from 2016. Yeah, from the year he won the Brownlow, it was like we need someone to help Joel, and that's that's what he was there for. So they could clearly see it in 2016 when Sydney ran over us, and then Doggies obviously got the win, but. Me and Rick for that whole year were like, it's our year, mate. It's our year. We're both in it, So and it just showed.
And we knew where it went. We knew where it went. All right. Well, unless you have,
you guys would have beaten us that year as well, I reckon.
Oh, absolutely, mate. On the G. And I just one special thing is just good to see good old Tim Membray out there, mate. He struggled a bit at the end of last year. For whatever reasons, but they obviously missed him in the final, and it's just good to see him come out and bag 3 goals for the Saints. He makes a difference next to Kingy, and just good to see him out there, mate. To be honest,
100%.
Saints could have won it if Kingy had have made better decisions in that last quarter there.
Well, he's not B King. He's not the better King,
He had a 70-meter shot on goal, like. When you had a couple of blokes open in the forward line, you just don't do that. You know what I mean?
There is a bit.
Look how close the game was. Like at that time as well. Like if he had kicked a goal, or if he had passed and Saints had kicked a goal, it would have turned the momentum of the game. And it could have gone either way. So
Do you think
he needs to look back on it?
A little bit selfish, reckon?
Yeah.
Just
a lot
a
of
little
pressure.
bit.
A lot of pressure, but
a couple of times. And I understand you're a key forward. You're the next big thing, but you still can't be selfish. And if there's someone in a better position, you should honour that.
Absolutely. Well, go to Cats, and go the Cats, and it made my week a little easier, and especially coming on the pod. So
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Well, look, I'm a little not happy about this game because I almost got a rather nice multi off it. It was.
I thought you were going to say you tipped the Saints.
It was shattered. No, I had a bunch of disposals, goal kickers, all the highest scoring half, and then the one that got me, total match points to be under a certain amount.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, it was low scoring, wasn't it?
No, it was over the amount. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, yeah. Hey, it's just you and me, is it?
It's just you and me. Everybody's buggered off. Hey, now we can do the real podcast, Ryan. All right, about OptiScreen.
Oh. Hey, we're trying to get listeners, mate. Come on.
All right, well, screw these guys. Let's move on to the next game.
I've got 2 kids too,
Well, it's over at the People First Stadium. It was Gold Coast versus Adelaide. Gold Coast 8-12-60 to Adelaide 8-6-54. Gold Coast by 6 points. Jesus, Rick.
What a game. Like,
Oh.
the way this game panned out, I was like, geez, Adelaide, I don't know what's going to go on with their year if they lose this by a shellacking, which it was looking to be.
I thought it was going to be, yeah, that's for sure.
And then, so Adelaide pegged them back in, but geez, Gold Coast were looking real good, weren't they? Matty Rao, just
bringing a towel.
Definitely.
He had 29, but Noah Anderson had 35.
Noah Anderson's always good.
35.
Sanders as well.
Ned Flanders just absolutely killed it. You know what I mean?
Good old Ned.
Tuke Miller. They had the 4 players get over 29 possessions. When you got guys like that winning the ball, and just those 4 names together, like, Jesus Christ! So other teams better watch out.
It's looking promising, isn't it? It's looking. Yeah. You can see what they're trying to do. They just need to keep the core and build around it. You can just see that's what they're trying to do. Like, a lot of those players are from Victoria, but they're just you can just tell they want to keep them. Now they're starting to blood the locals to get a bit of culture, and they're just got to try and just keep these guys. They're developing them. They're putting a lot of work into them. Now they've got Dimmer. They just got to stick with it and.
Well, I gave him a spray at the start of the year, just before opening round on that first pot. I gave him a bit of a clip, and they've responded really well and said, "Listen here, Trip, this is what we've been doing through the off season, so you better buy into the cause."
Yeah, it was hard to watch with the.
I think I am. Yeah,
it was hard to watch with both sides. The Cats on this side and the Suns on that side, trying to watch both games. But it's good to see, but. They did slow down. It did end up bucketing down. Good old wet weather footy. Oh,
yeah.
It's like the old days. It's like the old days. I was like waiting for them to stop the game, but they just kept going.
They never had a mud pit. All right, you don't see mud pits anymore.
Too well maintained. And that is the name of the stadium now too. They got rid of Heritage Bank Stadium. That was only for a year, and apparently sticking with the new name.
People First Stadium. Yeah, do it.
Yeah, I put a comment on our YouTube, but I don't know if anyone's read it about that because we got asked to. So
we'll be reading out our YouTube some of our comments on the show from last week. Yeah. So,
and I was actually interested to see this man walked out on the club, 2 years ago for the dollars, and Isaac Rankin. I didn't get to see him play down at the stadium last year because they were in Northern Territory or Darwin or whatever game.
Yeah.
But it was good to see him back on his old deck and copped a few boos, but that's fair.
Hey, you're gonna get that. You're gonna get that even if your team gets rid of you and you go to another team. You're gonna cop a few boos.
And end up kicking 2 goals, but I was actually really looking forward to that before the game started, just to see how he'd go on his old deck, old team, but. Yeah, he didn't light it up too much, so the Sun supporters were pretty happy with that from what I've heard. So
couple of goals at least. So
not that flary stuff, So, but so they shut him down pretty good.
All right, well, I guess with that we'll move on to the next game. And Rick, I'm so glad you're here for this one. It was Sunday football at the G. It was Melbourne 16-13, 109 versus the Doggies 9-10, 64. Melbourne by 45 points in a smashing, but really doesn't reflect how the first part of the game went, did it, Rick?
No, it doesn't, because the Doggies got out to a bit of a cracker, and I thought,
Yeah, that first quarter.
on today, we're absolutely on today, but and Melbourne just sort of pegged them straight back in. It was
Just piled it on.
Jeez, it was actually it was a tough watch being a Dog supporter.
Yeah, I can
because
imagine. Yeah.
just the turnovers that we were just simple, like 20-meter kicks we couldn't even do properly. And to win, to lose, again to Melbourne, it's very damaging. But what do you do? You got people like Clayton Oliver and Petrarca just sitting there hanging off our hard ball getters, and they're somehow
they're good.
coming out with the ball. So
We have that new kid that seems to be ripping it up a bit, Billings.
Where is he new? Where's he come from?
He's no, he was doing all right. He was doing all right.
Unbelievable, mate. He tore it up. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Do you think it could it be a bit of a mental thing with the Doggies versus the Demons, Rick, or like?
No, I don't know. Anyway, I'm not Rick. Sorry.
I don't know. No, probably not.
They just probably match up. Just got that better match up or something.
Some teams just match up better.
Or maybe how about Melbourne's just a good team?
But we are known to.
Yeah, well, they got the
to beat
W,
them as
so we know that.
So
Yeah, it's not like you haven't ever beaten us.
no, we usually they usually beat us. We usually play them twice a year.
Yeah,
And
lately it's
it's
not been
usually
good.
50-50. No, it's usually 50.
Last few years, though, I think it's been more skewed Melbourne way. But yeah, okay.
I think last year you won both of them, but then the year before it was 50-50. Then the year before that was the grand final, and it was 50-50 throughout the year. And then the year before that it was 50-50. So
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's been 50-50.
Yeah. Well, no, except for the two last year, which means
Except-
it slightly
except for
leans
last
towards
year.
Melbourne doing a bit better. So yeah, I was right.
So it'd be 55-45 or whoop-de-whoop.
Well, if you go back that many years, but if you go back a few years, it's a big chunk. Anyway, Van Ruin, 3 goals straight.
Oh,
Come on.
Good to see the young fella.
Yeah. Well, only 6 touches, unfortunately, but he is a forwardman. He does need to just kick those goals. As long as he kicks the goals, I'm happy. And there was no misses. So
When I saw, I was leaning towards Doggies all week, but when I saw the inclusions of Brown and McDonald and Pickett, I had to change because I knew that was a totally different side from the week previous against the Swans. When I saw those 3 forwards going, I'm like, yep, I'm changing my tip. Sorry, Rick, but I'm changing. And
you're allowed to change.
Yep, and I just couldn't go past those 3 forwards going in. I'm like, well, it's totally different look at the G, even though the 3 Doggies, the Talls kicked a goal each in the first quarter, were looking really good. I just thought the D's would just run it out and without McRae playing, he's the man. He gets in there, gets it all, gets some easy
I'm not
cheap
sure
handball.
about that. Leaving him out of the side, and Caleb Daniel as well, starting as a sub, and subbing out Sanders.
Yeah. So you reckon were they just giving the young blokes a bit of a run, Rick? Is that why he's out, or the two new?
I don't know, mate. There's some rumblings down there that he's only playing favourites. If you buy into all that.
Yeah,
it could be true. You know what I mean? But I reckon there were probably better people to be out there on the field that day. But I'm not the coach down there, so I don't know the inner workings. So
no.
He could be injured. He could be who knows.
He might have just had a pretty crap average pre-season. Like who knows? Yeah.
No, exactly.
Could have come back with an extra skin fold or something.
Yeah. Ate a cheeseburger on the way to training or something like that.
No, he just got married through the off season, so.
Oh, well, he probably should have lost weight then. So good to see Gorn, Bruce, back at it, mate. Gorny.
Yep. No, I feel like Brody just had his number last week because, well, you know, I assume it's a bit different if you trained with the person for a year. Like you sort of know each other on a different level, and I feel like it's a lot different than just facing up some random person you get to go up against once every 2 years, maybe.
Yeah, and English is no short feat, you know. He's an awesome ruckman himself too.
Yeah. That was surprising. I didn't realise English was going to be so thoroughly quietened. I feel like when he did get the ball, he didn't really do too much with it, unfortunately, for Rick.
Yeah.
But yeah, Tom McDonald in the back line, great stuff. I feel like that's where he belongs. He should maybe stick down there.
There was a bit of friendly fire with May and Harms too. A bit of a headbutt. What's going on there, Rick?
Harms is gone for a week.
The old Liverpool kiss, hey mate. What's going on there, Rick?
Well, we dropped him. He couldn't get a game for Melbourne, so Doggy snapped him up.
So he starts headbutting everyone.
Well, Stephen May is a prick. Let's be clear.
I think there's been a bit of history between May and a few of them, but
May probably.
Look, you know, you slip up and you headbutt someone, you know, you got to cop it. So
1 week, you happy with 1 week?
What do you do? Yeah, I think he's happy with 1 week. I would have thought at least 2 or 3 for a blatant headbutt.
Hey, look, I've got a soft spot for Harms, and maybe Stephen May has a soft spot for Harms too. You don't know. They did play in the same club, and you know, on game day, emotions do run high, and a lot of the time, it is left on the field.
Oh,
yeah.
For the most part.
Speaking of emotions, what was going on with Clayton Oliver at the end of the game there, mate? He was the waterworks going,
wasn't he?
Yeah, he was walking around as old faithful.
He was having a bit of a Nick Rewalt, was he?
Hey, look, he's very emotional, all right? He's gone through a lot. His hammy was, sort of very different, very unique sort of situation.
Is he counting down the game till he's down at Geelong, or is that what's happening?
No. Geelong won't pay for him.
He's only got 10 games left at home.
Geelong won't pay for him. Geelong don't pay their players well.
No, I don't know. We balance it out so it's a team success. You know what I'm like. Well, we all know what it's like. Because Daniel's out of the room.
So. They'll buy your farm, mate. That makes you the money.
Wonder if I should tell Reeby. What if I should tell Reeby we've stopped talking about the Cats Saints game?
No, he's gone. He's done. He's done. We've officially fired him from the pod. But yeah, no. But no,
you can't do that.
Look,
let's move on to the next game.
That's what I'm doing. I just want to say, good game for me. Finally, Melbourne get a victory.
I've had it. You bloody Melbourne.
You're lucky it wasn't on your birthday, Rick.
Anyway, moving on to the next game. It was Port Adelaide versus West Coast over at Adelaide Oval. It was Port Adelaide 16-24, 120 to West Coast 10-10, 70. It was Port Adelaide by 50 points in a smacking. Oh. Hey, who saw this coming, Wheels? This is a bit of a shocking result. What do you reckon?
Oh, mate. I know there's another shocking result coming up, but this one was pretty predictable. It was hard. It was almost just hard to really zone in on it, you know. But there's a few things to look out of the game. You had the number 1 draft pick, Harley Reid. It'd be good to see how he went. He had 16 touches.
First bounce.
Respectable.
Bounce he got a touch, didn't he?
Yeah, respectable game for a first gamer. And talk about pressure. He's got a lot of pressure on him as a young fella. And as a ex-pod member Jamie Hutchinson's, he'd be happy to see that our old mate Radagalera did F-all.
Radagalera.
Yeah, Radagalera. And he did. Yeah, he's at Port Adelaide now, the old rat. And it's really good. I might have got a private message off him to show me how much he didn't do off Jamie there. So that was a bit of a laugh. And just same old story, mate. All the Port Adelaide young gun, all the mids, they just tore it up, didn't they? They all got high possessions.
Horn Francis is pretty good as well, wasn't he?
Yeah, mate.
Horn Francis is good.
Yeah, they all did their job, mate. Butters, Rosie, the Haunt. So
Dixon kicked 3.
Yeah, Dixon. Yeah, he was
3-3.
3-3. Yeah, it's just where do you go for West Coast though, isn't it? Like, it's your first game of the season, fellas. Get out there and put a bit of grunt in, you know. So
and they're like, no, we want to be at the bottom.
Port Adelaide are no sham of a side though either.
No,
No,
of course
I've
not.
got-
That's why they put them away though so convincingly, and I
Yeah.
don't think anybody was surprised. It's probably the
I've got them
only
sitting
game.
top four.
It's probably the only game this week where everybody tipped Port.
Yeah,
That's
I've got
it.
them sitting in top 4. You know,
Everybody
so
tipped one
yeah.
side, yeah. Yeah. Well, you know they are, but they were great last year. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
all right. Well, let's move on to the last game of the round. It was Fremantle versus Brisbane over at Optus Stadium. Fremantle 14-9-93 to Brisbane 10-10-70. It was Freo by 23 points in quite an upset.
Didn't see that coming at all.
No, but
Ridiculous.
someone did.
Jules,
Julian in the tips.
well done.
Yeah.
Well
We
done.
should- we need
I should
to-
say Molian. Molian in the tips. Yeah, he tipped Freo. It was his one roughie of the week. And geez,
Yep.
did it pay off?
We need to get him on the
It did
pod
pay off
and on
for
the
us.
chat.
I don't think he doesn't do Facebook.
Well, either way, Freo, good work down at the old Optus or the new Optus, should I say?
Yeah, looked dire at first.
Well, it did, didn't it? You know, like Brizzy,
Yeah.
just like they did against Carlton. You know,
Yeah.
they got off to a great start and then just faded away. And Freo just turned on the muscle and
Yeah, just kept him bay the
what
whole
do you,
way.
What do you say? You know, with the likes of Sarong, Ryan, Brayshaw, and Age,
Oh,
like they
yeah.
just killed it. You know, they just
Yeah.
worked so well together. Like Sarong had 46 touches of the ball.
That's
for Christ's
insane.
sake.
Yeah, I have that written on my
46.
notes too.
Against a team that played in the grand final last year. Like that is
Yeah.
just absolutely ridiculous.
That's an effort. That is an effort.
Even
You know
Luke
what?
Ryan, Luke Ryan, the
that's
defender.
21 contested possessions.
Yeah,
Like,
And Jay
Luke
Amos.
Ryan.
stupid.
Jay Amos, four goals.
yeah, it's good
No.
for the young bloke.
That's good for him. Showing some signs of, becoming a veteran footballer.
But is it the same old story with Brisbane? Are they not that great at travelling as well? You know, like
Yeah. Unbeatable at the Gabba, but,
no Lockie Neal as well. No Lockie
they
Neal.
were,
There
they
wasn't
were
one,
beaten last week at the Gabba, so
they were as well. So, but look, also,
maybe the Hoodoos there. They rely too much on Charlie Cameron.
just like
And,
Collingwood. Yeah, Charlie Cameron. Yeah, but just like Collingwood, 0-2, straight out of the gate. Both grand finalists last year. It's mind blowing to me. I don't know.
I saw some footage during the week that Justin Longmuir got a 1-year contract extension. Like,
Yeah.
all celebrating like it was the end of the world. Like, what's going on there? Just the 1 year. What does the club not have faith in him? Like, what's happening?
It's a bit of a slap in the face, isn't it? You know.
Yeah, shocking. Like,
Well,
is he on 1 year, buddy? You know, at how the team goes every year. Like, you know,
and then they came out and showed
Unless
why.
unless they're giving you more money, you know what I mean. But like,
yeah, they will this week.
this week, but then that's it. Like, we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. All right.
What a
Well,
win for Freo, though. What a win for Freo.
well, yeah, it was a very good upset. I'm sure some Freo fans will be jumping for joy. And yeah, well, that's about it for last week's games. So we're going to go into the tips. So while I'm getting into the tips, I'll just talk while my page loads. No, all right, cool. Now I just want to get to the leaderboard. So what I'll do is I'll do the top 5 plus our 3 positions, as I do every week. So number 1, Molian. He got 8 out of 9 this week, and that jumped him up to 10. So 10 votes, 64 margin. Bam, he's number 1. Followed very closely by Nathan, Mr. 9 out of 9 Norman, who uncharacteristically only got 7 out of 9 this week. But ends up a 9 with a margin of 27. And then in third, Jim Bob 22 Parker. He also got 7 with a margin of 9 all up with a margin of 31. Then Steelo Squad 9 with a margin of 36, 7 for the round, and Jamie 7 for the round, 9 all up, 39 margin. And if I go down a bit further, Wheels, number 8.
Just warming into it, mate.
Yeah. Well, you only got 8, so you're only like 2 behind. Like, it's still early days, but
Oh no, it feels so much worse than that.
I know. It's just like, hang on, yeah. Look, I've warned people about you already. All right, Wheels.
Oh mate, thank you.
And then coming in at 20th, Mr. Rick Parker. You got 5 this week, 5 overall because of the 0 last week, and he's got 45 margin. Mickey B.
Reeves.
Well, Reeves isn't here, but if he was here, he'd be number 13th.
You're 13th, mate. You're topping at the first game of the round.
Yep, 7. He got 4 this week. He went some roughies. He was up. He was on the top of the leaderboard at some point this week, but so was I. And Julian took it in the end. But
Mickey
but
B
look,
coming 9th.
why are we talking about Mickey B? Yeah, 9th. I don't want to go through everybody. Just who's on the pod in the top 5 every week. I feel like
How good is it having the numbers though? How good is it having a decent amount of numbers and players, people doing it? You know, it's awesome.
Absolutely. We got a big group. The all footy community really showed up. So yeah. Well, with that, we'll move on to comments from last week. What do you reckon, guys? We got a couple of comments.
Oh.
On our YouTube video last week. So one by Mr. Ryan Fenton. You commented the home of the ground for the Gold Coast Suns is now called the People First Stadium, as you mentioned before. Thank you for writing it. Julian Slamkovic. Sorry?
Yeah, apparently the ground's been there for a long time when it's Carrara Oval, and they've just run with the history of it, so that's why they've changed it. So.
Yeah, no, well, fair enough. Well, better that than some corporation or whatever, some bank.
Oh, that's right.
And Julian Slavkovic, K. Brody. And, moving on to at Shoe Sock.
Why would you even bother reading that one out?
Oh, look, he was just laughing at Reeby getting K. Brownie in the tips wrong. He was calling her K. Brody. He was commenting on that. But anyway, and then at Shoesock-EQ3OV, if Melbourne can't lower their eyes when kicking into the forward line, then they're lucky if there's one brain cell between a lot of them. As this has been the same problem for the last 3 years. Also, what the fuck have the coaches been teaching them? So, clearly something from some commentary on our Melbourne discussion last week, Rick.
Oh, well, they showed that they could do something on the weekend now, didn't they? So.
Yep.
They listened.
We did all right. We did all right in the end. All right. Well, with that, we shall move into this week's games. So, first off, we got Friday night football at the G. It is St Kilda versus Collingwood. Rick, I'll go with you.
This is a tough one because you don't know. Like, Saints sort of played all right last week, but they were a bit selfish.
They played Saints footy last week.
Collingwood, they're 2-0. They're the premiers. Like, you don't think they're going to play 3 bad games in a row.
Yeah, well, we didn't think they'd do 2 either, so.
Nah, but,
Yeah. 3's even more
again,
unbelievable.
The Cats did the same thing, didn't they?
That tanked their whole season.
Nah, I think Collingwood will win this.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say about 10 points.
10 points, give it a margin.
Hey.
Wheels!
We're up to this week's games. I had a look at this quickly, and I would have tipped the Saints, I reckon. Yeah. Oh, he's back. The Saints. Look at who's back. Look who's back. We're talking about the Saints.
Oh yeah, well, hop in the fucking podcast. What are you doing?
Mate, we lost to the Cats. I didn't want to hang around for that.
We've stopped talking about the Cats.
Yeah, we stopped talking about Cats half an hour ago. What the fuck?
I had a look at this quick, and I realised that if it was at Marvel, I would have picked the Saints. But being at the G, like, what's going on there, Saints? Giving away a home game to the Premiers.
We do it every
That's what
year.
they did.
Yeah, so, like Rick said, mate, I can't see him losing 3 in a row. I if that's it, I'm not going to tip them next week. So I'll just go the Pies. I'm still. I feel like the Saints can do it with the big deck. With the they're playing that slingshot footy, but it's tough. I'm just going to go Pies. Just Pies because it's at the G, mate.
Yeah. Well, we can't hear you. You got to sit down and be included in the pod.
I heard
St
him.
Kilda. Tick, tick.
Yeah, I heard him too, but I want him to sit down and be on the pod. Anyway, I'm going to back Collingwood because, they've got to get this victory. They need it. I can't see them losing to St Kilda like 3 in a row.
Yeah.
Oof, yikes.
It'd be interesting who the Saints supporters tip, won't it?
Yeah, well, they'd be crazy. Anyway, I'll move on to the next game. Friday night football at Adelaide Oval. It is Adelaide versus Geelong. Rick, who have you got?
Yeah, I've got Geelong, and it may change, but at this stage, I reckon Geelong.
Thanks, Rick.
Fenno.
I was thinking about this game all day today, just thinking like it could really go either way. Being at Adelaide Oval, I'm still sticking with Geelong.
Yeah, it is a plus being at Adelaide Oval, but there is, wheels.
And when
It's
you
a
look
shot.
at the way Paddy played last week, you know what I mean, and then you've got just the Guthries and
Tomahawk.
Hawkins,
Yeah.
the big Tomahawk. Like you just can't go past them, can you?
Yeah. I'm going to actually go the Crows.
Boom. Self-hating.
I just
Geelong
feel,
supporter.
I just know we're not the team we used to be. We're definitely in a transition stage, and I just think going over there against the Crows, you got to remember the Crows came back the round just been. They really did come back against the Suns. The Suns. So I feel like they're going to work with that momentum, and I reckon they'll come out firing against the Cats. So it's hard to say, but yeah, being at home, like you guys have said, it's just what time is it on? 6:40 night game. Could get a bit dewy there.
Dewey with a D. Yep.
Yeah, that's right. So it's hard to say, and Jamie won't like it either. But tipping the Crows, mate, it's bad.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Raby, you're in the pod now. Who are you tipping?
I'm tipping the handbags.
Jesus.
I decided before I came up here I'm tipping my team and Fenno's team for
So
the 2 games.
he's tipping Geelong.
And St Kilda. I figured why not? You have good years in tips when you tip your teams and they have good years.
Mate, we'll be celebrating this weekend if that's the case.
We already talked about St Kilda. We're moving on. Who cares? Nobody cares about St Kilda. All right. Well, I'm going to be backing Geelong as well. Funnily enough.
Wow. Yeah.
I think you'll get them done over there. The space. You play well with space. I reckon you're clinical.
If I go off what happened last year, I'm just not that confident.
Yeah, well, look, I don't rate Adelaide, so I don't rate
A
Geelong.
lot of people reckon they're going to pinch the 8, and a lot of people saying Cats aren't. So,
Geelong just had a bad start to the year. The end of the year wasn't that bad.
Nah. Last year, a lot of injuries, but that's all right. We'll see. Tough game.
No, well, exactly. All right, well, let's move on to the next game. Saturday football at Marvel Stadium. It is North Melbourne versus Fremantle. Rick, who have you got in this barn burner?
Well, considering I had Freo finishing on the bottom of the ladder this year,
You did.
Pass out.
But coming off their win from last week, is that a
coming off
fluke?
their win from last
Is that a
week,
fluke?
travelling over here now, Freo is synonymous with not being able to travel. The game's been played at Marvel. I'm actually gonna go. I'm actually gonna go North Melbourne.
Yeah, fair. Wheels, who have you got?
Yeah, I feel like Rick might have talked me into that one. Remember last year, North they had a good start, didn't they?
They're going to take a few
They
victims.
They've got a lot of young guns, it's tough. Yeah, I'm going to go North. Yep, North.
Sheasel.
Geelong? Reeves?
I am going to tip with Fabs.
Mm.
I too. We'll tip along
Been
with
fun to chat
Fabs.
about this game. And,
So yeah, that's Fremantle. So I just want to say it for the people watching, because
F for Freo.
nobody's going to know what you're talking about. Like,
There's
unless
not
they
many.
know us.
I don't reckon there's many games where Freo win 2 in a row.
Ooh.
Oh, you reckon that? Oof.
But should have they won last week? So really, this is one they should win. Last week,
Yeah.
was it one they really should win? That's where your 2 in a rows come, when you pinch one you shouldn't.
I reckon the Kangas would be spewing they didn't play this in Tassie.
What do you
Like,
reckon
I
of
just feel like the
Fife?
old Tassie would knock them about, wouldn't it? Like, yeah.
What do you reckon of Fife down there, Fenno? You know, do you reckon he should be, you know, in the midfield, or should he be playing forward? What's your opinion?
Yeah,
on
I reckon they should just rotate. A bit like Danger was going to do for the caddies, but I feel like they were going to rotate
just
him.
go
mate.
down there to rest.
Yeah, just have 5 minutes, the last 5 minutes of each quarter, get down forward, mate, and just do what you can. He's got a great leap on him still. And his body can't quite handle it, but yeah, he's still a superstar, isn't he? Come on.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Let the young bloke-
a very good Nathan. A good showing for Nathan's.
Let the young blokes do the hard work, and Fifey just sit back and kick it down to the forwards, I reckon. So, and when he's not in forward. Yeah.
Well, there you go. Well, look, I'm going to back Fremantle. So, let's go. All right, let's move on to the next game. It is Saturday afternoon football. You guessed it, the G. It's Hawthorn versus Melbourne. Who have you got, Rick?
Oh, what a grudge match.
Just going by the way they played last week. Probably should have got the win. So I'm still not going to tip him anyway, but I'm going to tip Melbourne.
There we go. We can hear you whispering, by the way, so stop whispering. Wheels, who have you got?
Well, this is the old. This could have been the merger game, hey? These two clubs.
Could have been the Melbourne Dorks.
Yeah. Wow. Imagine if that happened. Wow.
Joseph Goodnick versus fucking...
Would have been a few premierships there, I reckon. Oh.
They'd have a statue
Maybe.
of Goodnick if
Maybe.
they had done that.
Yeah.
Because I was watching a video yesterday on YouTube about that decade and how beautiful football was back in that decade. I went through every week. It was so good.
Oh, the 90s was. We loved it. All we little fellas.
Yeah, but we're kids. That's why we like it. Like, that was
It was all
our
about the
kid.
key forward.
It's all about the nostalgia. Nostalgia
Yeah.
plays tricks with you, alright?
Look, I'm going to go Melbourne because I don't like the Hawks. Simple as that.
Alright, Raby.
I'm also going Melbourne because my good friend goes for them.
No, this is all... I feel like this is bullying me. I'm going to find out on the day you've all tipped Hawthorn. The anti-Melbourne bias in the All Footy community is terrible. I'm tipping Melbourne.
Right, my mum goes for Hawthorn. I'm not even tipping them for her. Like, I'm tipping Melbourne because you go for them.
I'm still dirty on 08, so I'm going to
You're tipping Melbourne because they're going to smash Hawthorn. That's why you're tipping Melbourne. Alright, next game. Saturday night at the SCG. Seems like a pretty open shot one. Sydney versus Essendon. Rick.
It does seem pretty open shut, so that's why Essendon will probably not win.
Yep.
They're a risky team.
Oh,
Stop talking off camera.
I don't think they're that risky at all. Maybe if they're playing a team that's in the bottom 8, but or the bottom 10, should I say? But yeah, nah, definitely Sydney for me, especially at the SCG.
Yeah, it's hard to go past. Wheels, what do you got?
Yeah, I don't reckon the Bombers can handle the contested footy of the Swannies.
No.
They like a bit of space, the Dons. Yeah, just... Oh, you got to go Sydney, don't you? Like, how can you not? They've won 2 in a row. They're looking on fire. So
They are.
yeah,
Yeah, Heady's firing. They've got a good squad.
Yeah, Swannies.
I mean,
I
I
don't
think
trust the Dons.
Essendon might want a bit of payback after the 96 prelim.
I don't,
Oh, plugger.
Yeah.
I'm sure they don't even know about it or care anymore. So
Oh, it was a big game, a real pivotal game.
They could bring it up in the
Massive.
room.
yeah, but it was close to 30 years ago. Like, get over it.
Yeah,
But none of those players are playing still.
Yeah, but Essendon hasn't done much since. So.
No, they've hardly done anything.
They won a premiership since then.
Well, one.
2, if you include 93.
So I was
yeah.
right. They did win a
And they
premiership.
made the
by
grand
then.
final in 2000,
Wait, Rick.
didn't they?
Rick,
Something
what
like
have you
that,
got
yes.
on Thursday?
What's that?
What have you got on Thursday? You busy?
No, we're just working, mate. And
Oh, so you are busy.
oh no, yeah, we got football training on Thursday.
No, but during the day. Gordy just messaged me and asked him if I have a chance to get to Keezy this Thursday at 12:30.
No.
Come on, Gordy, not while on the pod, mate.
Yeah, get off. Why are you bringing this up now? Save it for the after pod. Come on, we're trying to
He
get through
just
this.
did that so he could get it mentioned.
All right.
Good Carlton, man.
Anyway, I am going to be backing Sydney, of course. I'd be stupid not to. I hope Essendon's goal here, I reckon, is to just keep it as not as much of a thrashing as I
I
expect it to
reckon
be.
Essendon will keep themselves in this game.
It could be a surprise.
Yeah,
it could be a surprise.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I reckon they're going to find a way. Not to say they'll win, but I just think they'll find a way to. Definitely don't see them getting smacked, but I mean they got good pace, Essendon. They are a fast team, and on a small ground, if you can get a few real quick
Over the
inside
top,
50s,
over the top.
you know you can score as well. So I think they'll really back their speed.
Definitely one to watch.
Yeah, for
Especially
sure.
for BT. BT will have his eye on it.
So I'm
Hey, look, I'll be
interested in the
hoping.
Bombers this year. They can go one or two ways so rapidly, couldn't they? But
Okay.
at the moment, they're looking good.
Absolutely.
But,
All right.
yeah, Sydney by 24.
Sydney across the board. All right, well, we'll move on to the next game. It's Sunday football at Mars Stadium. It is Doggies versus the Gold Coast Suns. Rick, who have you got?
Well,
Right there. Oh,
Didn't they used to play Adelaide down there?
they played a few.
I don't tip against the Dogs. So
You got
I'll
to change
be tipping
that.
the Dogs.
I feel like you got to change that at some point.
No, you don't tip against your own side.
Well, you don't win
That's why he
tips.
won the tip in 2016, because his team had a good year.
Yeah, but if your team has a bad year, then you have a bad year.
Well, that's why I've only won tips once in my life.
Exactly. All right,
Wheels.
Wheels.
I'm a good team, so I always win.
Wheels, who do you have?
Well, it's tough.
Could go either way.
Can the Suns travel down there? It's cold. Normally, it's
It's going to be a nice day.
good,
Mid
nice
20s.
bit of wind.
Not cold.
Yeah, and have the doggies haven't got a good record there of late, do they, Rick?
Yeah, we beat Brizzy there last year.
Did you lose against West Coast?
That was at the Dome.
Oh, was that the Dome?
Yeah, that was at the Dome.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah,
Suns.
Well, I think the Suns they'll have a crack, but I feel like the doggies will take the chocolates at Mars Stadium.
Yep. Reeves, who have you got?
Anytime you tip the Dogs at the moment, it sends a shatter down my bank account.
You've tipped them once. Oh, yeah, the multis, yep.
Well, last year there was the 2 games in a row that they managed to fleet against West Coast and Hawthorn. But
They're a bit untrustworthy, aren't they?
oh, at the moment, I mean, I've got them right in that boat of you just don't know what the Dogs are bringing at the moment.
Like the Blues.
They're good. It's just top 4 worthy, but
When they're good.
Fucking-
Yeah, they're not always good, unfortunately.
so it's real concerning. I mean, the Gold Coast though, we haven't seen them leave the Gold Coast yet, so we don't know what they'll bring on the road. But so this game, I mean, I will hang on watching this game. I really feel like this will be a really entertaining, maybe a bit of a swing game where you might have one team lead and you might get another team.
The old
So who do you have?
Sunday game too.
Is it Sunday?
Yeah, Sunday game.
1 o'clock. Yeah, 1 o'clock Sunday.
Should we go down to the Currumbin RSL?
Yeah, mate, we'll
We'll
just.
go because it's happy hour.
Well, they'll have a drink at the stadium, so we'll do that.
Yeah, we'll go sit
go.
down. Maybe we'll get a slab and just
Who are you
sit on the
tipping?
stairs out the front of the.
Go to Southport Sharks.
We'll go to the Oval and just watch it.
Hey, who are you tipping, though?
Oh, we're talking about footy still.
Reeves, who are you tipping? Tip.
I tipped. I'm not
Talking to the mic.
Doggies.
All right, Doggies. Everybody's going Doggies. I'm going Gold Coast. I don't tip favourites.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough.
All right, moving on to the next game. At
Tough round.
MCG,
Tough.
Richmond versus Port Adelaide. Rick, who have you got?
It's a tough one because the way Richmond played last week, it's quite gallant. Even the week before.
I don't think that Richmond Carlton game. I don't think they were playing that well either team. But
Oh, you know what? It could have been, when you play oppositions, they sort of bring you down to their level. Or they bring
like
you
Saints
up,
footy.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. So it could be a completely different game.
Yeah, you've got to be careful when you say those words.
I think Port Adelaide will win it. I'm going to tip the Tigers.
Oh, a bit of an upset.
Damn. Well, you got to chuck them in. Wheels, who you got?
Yeah, it is one of those games you feel like, Bolton.
It's at the G.
Yeah, I know. It's just you feel like the small forwards will pop up for the Tigers in this game. Oh man, it's tough. Like, when was the last time Port played at the G? Like, how long ago is that?
Oh, they beat Essendon after the siren last year. They played probably 2 or 3 other games. They played Carlton there last year.
Well, they were on a 8-win streak. Like, I'm sure some of them was at the G.
They won 13 in a row last year.
13 in a row. All right, so yeah, more than 8, but I knew it was at least 8 or something. They went on a massive streak.
And they basically had the bye this week against the West Coast Eagles. So
they really did.
They had a good tune-up match. So
I'm gonna go Port, but I'm actually not confident. Like Rick, I'm just not confident. I'm just gonna go Port. Yeah, no, I think they got the better list, but it's still hard. Yeah,
fair.
Go the power.
Reeby, who you got?
I have this as my certainty of the weekend.
Yep.
Port Adelaide by over 39.5. So I just feel like they give you a nice bit of value at the over 39.5. They're actually paying $1.50 to win this week. I thought that is just a steal.
It's not bad.
Port, that was good.
Port 40 plus. They're paying $4.40, so there's a bit of value there. Big ground, and they're just on at the moment, Port. I mean, their forwards are electric. Their midfield is the best in the comp.
They're only getting better.
And their defence, well, I mean, it's probably better than Richmond. So,
a few.
I mean, this could get ugly for Richmond, I feel. Especially in the second half, once the game opens up a bit.
Yeah.
Because the MCG to these clubs, they only get 2 or 3 games a year. And, I just think you really... Yeah, I look forward to watching them smash Richmond.
It'll be a challenge for, Hopper and... what's the other mid there?
Well, they don't bat that deep in the middle, and you got Bolton and Dusty that chip in, but they're really half forwards, and just a few question marks on Richmond's depth. I think they've got good players, and they've got some of the best players in the comp, but they don't have enough depth, I feel. It's where they get found out.
Yeah, it'll be test for
It's easy to hang off 1 or 2 of the good players, and then they don't have a lot, but...
No. Yeah, they haven't got the depth like they used to, do they?
Like even Bolton, he gets these 10, 12, 15 touches, but he's not going to win the game. But it's a lot of issues down at Tigerland. I enjoy it. Could be 37 years between drinks again.
You take it though.
No,
well, look, I am definitely going to be going Port.
Yeah,
that's for sure. I can't see. I hate Richmond. So.
And why is that again?
A few exes and an old friend go for Richmond, and they're terrible people, and only terrible people go for Richmond.
Is that ex-friend Harry Hesketh?
No. All right, moving on to the last game of the round. It is West Coast versus GWS at Optus Stadium. Rick, who have you got?
Jeez, the West Coast have copped a bad 2 weeks.
This is going to be
GWS.
Yeah, I feel like it's
GWS
pretty
easy.
Yeah. Wheels, what do you got?
Short and sharp, the Giants.
Yep, 100%. Reeves.
I'm going to tip the away side.
Is that A or B?
No, he doesn't like, doing what he's meant to do and actually saying the name of the team he's tipping.
Oh.
Sorry, Team B.
Yes. Still not saying the name of the team. All right, so you're going for whatever. All right.
And
I'm going GWS, of course, because you'd be foolish not to at this point. All right, now let's move on to the. Oh wait, I'll note that Brisbane and Carlton both have buys this week. All right, let's move on to Sports Bet of the Week. Now, who's ready?
I am ready. Always ready. So this week, I just feel like the value is in St Kilda at the line. So last Saturday night, let me just put the story to you for a sec. I had my weekly multi got up, even though I got 3 tips wrong in a row on Saturday. Hawthorn, St Kilda and Adelaide. So I tipped them all, but I had them all at the line. and the line got up for all of them. So that was quite interesting. So I got to Sunday when the doggies finally let me down because I had doggies at the line. But so I'm going to stick with my theory, and I'm just going to tip the Saints at the line again this week. The Cats at the line, which is a generous 15. Fremantle, we'll just give them head-to-head, as they're playing North down here. Melbourne, we'll just give them head-to-head. Sydney, I'm not touching the Sydney game. I left it out. Dogs, I've got some big trepidation about adding this, but I'm adding them just because a good friend train.
Good friend.
Port, over 40.
Yep.
And the Giants, just to go out in $1.08. So you put all that together and it gives you 95 to 1. And I'm like,
it's pretty big.
That's almost 100 to 1 power played.
Could it get up?
This week, I'm just putting my 10 on it. I'm not going to put 40 on. So yeah, 950 if all my tips get up at the line.
No, fair enough. Rick?
That's pretty good. So I've just gone head-to-head, straight up head-to-head. So I've gone St Kilda, Geelong, North Melbourne, Sydney, Gold Coast, Richmond, and GWS. Now, our good mates at Sportsbet, they're like, mate, we'll give you $159.46 for that.
Bloody generous people at Sportsbet.
Yeah,
I know. And then just as I was about to say deal, they go, you know what? We'll power it up for you to 195.86. So, you know, you chuck a cheeky 5 on that, right?
Good
Just
to go.
a cheeky $5, and you're bloody laughing. All
You
right,
are.
so that's my sports bet of the week with the potential winnings of, you know, just under $1,000.
Yeah, no,
Very
not too
nice.
shabby, not too shabby. I assume Wheels is not doing a bet of the week because he's walked off.
Wheels' youngest child is currently crying hysterically in the lounge room, and I believe he may have to give her some milk. So,
All right, fair enough. Well, I'll just move on to mine. We'll skip him. So I've got a 4-leg multi. I'm going nuts this week. Collingwood 25 plus over St Kilda. Geelong to win between 1 and 39 against Adelaide. Fremantle to win by over 15.5 points. And Melbourne to win over 25 plus against Hawthorn. And that's paying $33.84. I put $5 on it, $169.22. So bringing it home.
Very good.
Bringing it home.
it.
All right.
Bloody good.
Well, with that, we'll move on to closing thoughts. Rick, regale us with your closing thoughts.
Look, just want to hope that the Dogs get a just and good win against Gold Coast on the weekend, so we can get the season started. Going to be a tough task, so I'll be watching intently. But that will be my weekend.
Yeah, fair.
Yep.
Reeves, closing thoughts.
Closing thoughts. I've actually just changed one of my legs in my multi. I'm going to go with the Doggies Gold Coast game. Either team to lead at the end of any quarter. I had the Dogs head to head, but I just remembered that I feel like this game's going to have a bit of flip flop in it. So I actually recall that wire to wire, any other result, which means a change. So if you just scrub that into the multi, it'll get you over 100 to 1 too. But,
Cool. You should have done that during the closing thoughts, bro. Closing thoughts. Let's do it.
But they are closing thoughts. I just like to fill everyone in with that, and just enjoy the Gold Coast. Anyone that's up there.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, have fun up in the Gold Coast there, Reevy, and make sure that, you know, is there any footy up there this weekend?
No.
Both games. Gold Coast are playing the Doggies in Ballarat, obviously, and Brisbane have the bye.
As stated
so,
earlier.
No footy
It looks
up
like
there.
we're just going to have a bit of extra time to sit around and have a couple of frothies because we don't have to drive anywhere.
Well, that's it. Wheels, closing thoughts.
What'd you say?
He said some bullshit about Sportsbet and Gold Coast.
Living in Gold Coast.
Yeah, that's about it. Nah, we'll probably hopefully the weather stays clear all week. It's apparently going to be a bit of rain, but that's okay. If it stays clear, we'll get out on the kayaks on the rivers there, Currumbin and Chugan.
Oh, mate, we'll be out there.
And all those sort of areas, and maybe a bit of Currumbin Wildlife Sanctuary, see some animals with the little kids, and
we'll be hanging out with River
Enjoy the
Reedy
time
on
up
Saturday
there.
morning.
yeah, mate. Yeah, and what you're here for like the week, a bit long, about a week, is it?
I don't think.
Hey,
I'm gonna
will you be back for next week's pod in
I
person?
think I'm
Rex?
going to stay. I think I'm just going to stay on.
What's that? Sorry, Bruce.
I was asking Brady if he was going to be on next week's pod in person, but you're still going to be up there.
I'm thinking I'll just stay. I may never come back, actually.
Feddo is not agreeing to this.
A Monday morning pod, we might make it in.
Well,
I'll leave 10B and 10C at my joint, and I'll just never come back.
well, maybe I want to float the idea of maybe we have a watch along this weekend at some point for one of the games. If either of you are willing, we could just pop some beers open, pop some drinks, watch one of the games live, and stream a watch along.
Probably not the weekend for us because we've got the little ones, but we'll see.
You can just lock them in the closet. It's fine.
Doesn't matter if we're not watching. I'm sure there'll be heaps of other people watching. So.
Oh well.
Jai came running out here before because him and Louis were sitting on the couch watching TV.
Good on him.
Jai turns around, Louis snoring his head off. So Jai had to come out here to entertain himself because he was like,
Of course he did.
This boy's boring.
It's the old daylight savings, mate. It got him.
Yeah, got him.
Couch snoozing.
All
I
right.
gave him Joey's and he came out to see the boys on the pod. He was like, hey.
Yep. Oh, cool. Well, my closing thoughts. I'm going to keep it short and sweet this week. Got Rise of the Ronin coming out this Friday. I'll be playing that up with my good friend Mr. Nobot E over on his stream on YouTube. So go give him a follow. And
What's that coming out
come
on?
bully me.
Oh, no bot.
PlayStation
What's
5. PlayStation 5. I'll be playing just PlayStation 5. That's it.
Oh, nice, unique.
So yeah, I'll be playing that with him. Run around as a samurai,
it.
just cutting people up, and it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. Great times. So that'll be Friday night on Nobody Eats channel. And with that, I think that's it from us at All for Footy, and we're out.